Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortewada. In this video, we will learn about useState and its scenarios. So I have explained a brief understanding of how to use useState, how to create it, and how can we use that variables and the functions of useState in my previous video. In this video, we'll completely cover all the scenarios which are related to useState. Now, first case is useState. Whenever you want to update any of the value of a state, then you have to use this function. That is the second parameter which is returned from the use state, helps us to update our value. And the second thing is we are using 0, and if I try to update this 0 again with the same value, so it will not re-render. Let me go here, refresh. It will not re-render because we are updating the same state value. So never update the same state value. And the next thing is, let me go with a complex one. So this is a basic one where you are sending zeros, ones, or the integer values. But let me go with a complex one. So let me create a complex state. Let me clear this off and clear this off. Now my complex state is something like const user details. This is my state, and if I want to update the state value, then I'll use set user details, and my state is use state with two values. One is first name, which is empty, and I'm using something like second name, and again it is also empty, and save this. Now I have two input fields and I want to update this first name for the first input field. So placeholder first name, and I want to use on change event to update that first name. And for updating that first name, I can use this set user details, and that set user details should be updated with this first name. So first name, and this is a callback function, and we can use an event. So my first name value is always equivalent to event dot target dot value, the value whatever we are entering, and save this. Now I'm using on change and format. Now I'm updating the first name by using this first input field. Now next one, let me break this and let me add one more input field, same like this, but this time I'm using a last name, and here I'm using last name, and save this. Now let's see what's happening over here by displaying this user details value. So let me go here and break this off, and let me use user details, but this user details is a JSON format, hence I'll convert this into stringify manner. So let me go here, and I have converted this user details into stringified manner so that everything will be in a string format. Let me go here, and you can see the first name is nothing and last name is nothing. So let me type something over here, HAI. So you can see that hi, which is updated in this first name. Now let me type last name. So let me type the last name as AUMAR. So if you see the object, it is not having the first name. It is having only the last updated value, that is last name. If I go and change this to Sai, again Sai, that means first name is getting updated but last name is missing because this is an object. So whenever you are trying to update the object, we are missing all the previous properties and we are updating only the current properties. For that sake, to avoid that problems, what we will do is we will get the previous values and then we will update only whatever required. That's how we have to update our state. In this case, I can update dot 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 user details, which are my previous details, and I want to only update the first name. In the same way, I can use dot 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 user details comma last name. So here I am using a spread operator and I am merging this latest updated value to this user details. That will be my latest state. Let me go here and you can see, let me refresh, empty Sai. That means the first name has been updated but the second name didn't update anything, it's the same way. So let me go with Kumar and it updated last names and the second name is nothing. So let me see what is the problem over here. Okay, so it is second name, actually we have to give the last name. Save this, go here, and now let me type Sai. So you can see the updated value. Next, let me type Kumar. You can see updated value in the last name. So the object is holding the previous value and updating the latest value. So whenever you are trying to use objects, you have to use a spread operator, and then that spread operator need to combine with your current values and update the actual state. So that is what we are doing over here. Now most of the people feel like if you have 10 or 20 fields, how to update it? So it is very simple to use it. Actually speaking, you have to create a handler, that is a change handler, and let me use this object to set that user details. So let me copy this user details and put it over here. But here the problem is you have the first name. That first name either you have to send to that set user details every time. That means whenever you are calling the change handler, let me copy this change handler, put it over here, and you can just pass that value if you want. That means instead of first name here, I'll pass it as a string, and I'll receive here, that is nothing but input field. Copy this and make it like this. So I can use either this way by passing the change handler, and let me save this. Now I can use the same thing, but I have to use the last name. Copy this last name, put it over here, save this, and now we have to get an event. So let's pass the event as well. Event, copy and paste here, comma, and then here as well, here as well. So save this, go here and refresh. So now let me type Sai and Kumar, it works the same way. But here also there is a problem. We are trying to pass that second value always. So instead of doing that, even you can do one more thing, is like you can give the name for it. So I can give a name for this input field. Name is equal to, I will give the same name whatever I'm using in the state, and I'll create the same name property for each and every field. So let me put it over here, and this is my last name, and format this. In this case, I no need to pass this first name and last name. Instead, we can get that from the event itself. So if you go here, let me remove this input field. Now we can use event.target.name itself. Save this. Now you can see the target name is first name. First name will be updated, and the target name here is last name. So the target name is equal to last name, and it updates only the last name. Let me go here and refresh Sai Kumar. So that's how you can reuse a single function for updating the state. And even for some of the complex states, it is not recommended to use the useState. We can go with useReducer, which we will discuss in the upcoming videos. For now, you can use the state at any point of time, and you can update the state values by using the second parameter which is returned from your useState. So that's how you can update your objects. And now let's talk about arrays. So this is one more scenario which we need to handle in useState. So let me remove all this now, and let me remove this one as well. So now what I'll do is I'll just create a state with an array. Const arr comma set arr is equal to, I want to set this values, and my use state is an empty array. Save this. Now let me iterate that array to display the value. Map of, I can go with item implies paragraph with item value. So now we are using only single line. So that's why I'm not returning anything, and even I'm not writing any fragments because it is not multiple lines. Now I'm creating a button which helps us to increment the value of that particular array. So increment and save this. Now let me go here on click. I want to set the array values. For that check, what I'll do is I'll create an increment function and save this. Now let me go here and just create increment const and arrow function. Now let me give this is as equal to, and what I'll do is I'll push my values into this array. So set arr of my previous array dot push of the value, whatever the value we want. So I want to push array dot length plus 1. So save this. Now I'm incrementing this array value, and I'm pushing that array value. So let me make it as a separate const updated arr is equal to this way, and just pass this updated array to this and save this. Now what happens, let's see. So now whenever I'm pushing, it will be updated with arr, and that updated value of that particular arr I'm pushing into this. Either you can assign and push it, or just you can use arr directly and save this. Go here and refresh. Now increment, nothing is happening. Why? Because I'm updating the array and I'm pushing to the same array. Here the instance of that array is same. So every object or every array will have its own instance and the reference, and that reference is not getting changed. When the state will get updated, only when the values along with the reference gets changed. For example, if you have a number, every number increments, then there will be a new reference for that number because they are the primitive data types. Here object and the arrays are the complex data types. We have the same reference, but whenever we are trying to update it, we have to create a new reference. So for creating a new reference, I'll use something like dot 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 and save this. Go here. Now you can see all the values. Let me refresh, increment, and it thrown an error, is not a function. So let's see what's the problem. Okay, so I have used object. Now we have to use array for spread operator and save this. Go here and clear this off, refresh, click this. You can see all the values are getting updated, but there is a warning. Already we discussed about this warning, where there should be a key for this. So let me add an index and let me add a key property. As I mentioned, you can use the key property on any of the HTML element, or you can use even on the React components. Let me go here, refresh again, click this, you are able to add the values. This is the same problem which we observed in the objects also, and now even we are seeing in the arrays also. Do all your array operations, create a reference and pass it to your state to update the values, and this can also be solved by using useReducer. So useReducer also helps to write big logics based on different types of actions instead of performing them within the component. So that's about the different use states and different scenarios of use states. And now the case one which we are missing is, for example, here I am setting the value. Let me print the console.log of ARR and save this. Now go here and refresh. When I click this, you can see the first and 1, 2 and 3. So you are getting an updated value because of this. Okay, so for now we have an updated value inside this array, and that is the reason you are able to see that. But in normal primitive type of data, if you are trying to update the values, that updated values will not be shown in the console, because whatever the state updates we are performing, they are asynchronous data, which we have seen in my previous video. Now if you want to make some synchronous logic, for example, if you update an array and that array gets updated, I want to perform some set of logics. So then how to perform such logics in React functional components? That's where we come across use states, and whenever we are trying to understand about the use states, we will cover that use case as well. UseEffect helps us to wait or to listen to particular states, and once the states gets updated, it starts executing this use effect. So that is how use effect works, and we will talk with an experiment in my upcoming videos. For now, this is about the state. States are something which you can access within the function, and you can update at any point of time, and that values will be updated and it will be re-rendered in your application. And if you want to use the states in your functional components, that is only possible after version 16, and you have to use useState hook. So that's about your useState hook, and in the upcoming video I'll show you how to pass the values from one component to another component in React. And that's it for this video. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my explanation, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.